have a question. Who in the hell is Anthony Bourdain, and why is he everywhere? In England, eating fish and chips with buck-toothed British people talking about top of the morning, chap. How the bloody hell are you? A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down.
This is the Brett Mason Show. Hey, hey, hey. My name is Brett. This is my show. This is my show.
Well, hello there, beautiful people. If my calculations are correct, and I think they are, this podcast is being released the morning of June 4th. It's Thursday. Hey, how are you? Brett Mason here. I want to thank you so much for listening to the podcast and sharing them and telling people about them. The listenership has continued to increase, and I'm just an honest kind of person. I'll be honest up front with you. I'm not the king of podcasts. You know, I did radio for a long time. Radio is very different than a podcast, and who knows? I may stop doing these next week because I suck at it. But for right now, it's fun. I enjoy doing them. It gives me an outlet. It gives me a chance to connect with folk, and so thanks for sharing. And another tip, if you have somebody you think, if you think you'd be a good guest on the show because you have something funny, you have something interesting going on in your life, you met some kind of famous person and you shot a spitball at them, or, you know, whatever reason you think you'd be good for the show, it'd be great if you'd message me on Facebook and tell me why you'd like to be on the show with me, because I'm looking for guests. Or if you know somebody who you think would be a good guest for the show, send me a message here on Facebook. Tell me why and tell me how to get up with them. Facebook preferably, but however, so that'd be great. So interesting stuff on the show today that we're going to try to get to. We'll be talking about this Volkswagen commercial that's kind of driving me crazy. It's for this new Passat TDI clean diesel. Have you seen it with the mom and the kids? We'll be talking about that. I have a question. Who is Anthony Bourdain? Who is this guy? I'm flipping through trying to figure out something to watch. And like I said, I don't have full-blown cable anymore, but if you have a Roku box, and I think some of your smart TVs will let you do this too, you can subscribe to something called Sling TV. And it's like, I don't know, I pay like $5 a month or something, and I get like 15 channels. CNN, A&E, the Travel Channel, TBN, TBS, or something, whatever. It's like, I don't know how many. It's just all the sports channels, all the ESPNs. It's really cheap. So I'm flipping through there. I've noticed this 2 or 3 days in a row now. Every damn channel has Anthony Bourdain on it. Anthony Bourdain, no borders. Anthony Bourdain, parts unknown. Anthony Bourdain. Who is he and why is he on every freaking channel ever? I'm trying to watch. There was some news story that I saw pop up on Facebook, and I'm like, man, and it was happening. It was like stuff happening now. Somebody posted about it. I'm like, well, I bet CNN is covering that. And so I popped it over to CNN, and no, it's Anthony Bourdain in the south of France eating snails with some stuck-up people. And I'm like, what? Why is this? Where's the news at? What happened to there being news on the TV, on the CNN? So I've got the thing open, and I'm watching. I got the TV going, and I'm like, well, I'll see if there's something else on while I'm here. And since I'm disappointed, and I just don't watch TV that much. So when I do watch it, I want to be satisfied. When you watch TV 8 hours a day, like a lot of people, you can sit through a bunch of crap. You don't have high expectations. But when you watch TV as little as I do, when I do actually commit to it, I want something that doesn't suck to high heavens to be on the TV. So I'm flipping from CNN, and the next thing I know, I'm passing through the Travel Channel. I'll be damned if it's not Anthony Bourdain is eating in California. It's Anthony Bourdain was hanging out with some stuck-up people in California eating rice pilaf or some kind of crap like that. So I'm like, I don't even know who. I've never even heard of this guy before. Suddenly, he's on every channel. He's eating food with stuck-up people. That's his entire show. I could have a show like that. So just when you think that I'm just over the aneurysm now. Granted, I just had 14 veins and 2 arteries explode inside of my brain while watching the Volkswagen commercial. And now Anthony Bourdain is on 2 channels. I don't know who this guy is. He's not very entertaining to me. And look, if you like the Anthony Bourdain, I'm not downing you. I'm not against you. I'm not coming at you. It's just not for me. And I don't understand why a show that's not for me has to be on every freaking channel. And in case, lest you think I'm exaggerating, I kid you not, I flip back up. And remember, I told you I only got like 15 channels. That's the thing I like about Sling. You got a few channels. You don't have 876 channels to go through. It's channels that I mostly like. History Channel, A&E, TBS, the Learning Channel, the Travel Channel, CNN. I mean, these are channels that I like. I generally like what's on those channels. And I really like all the ESPNs and a couple of other sports networks that I've never heard of before. I'm flipping through my limited 15 or 20 channels that I have, and lo and behold, on the same night, at the same time, Anthony Bourdain is in some other part of the world eating some other kind of crap with some other stuck-up people. And on the same night, 3 channels, 3 different shows. At the same time, the same guy is eating food with people and making millions of dollars. And here I am just trying to watch the news. I just want to see about this shooting that happened. Anyways, I digress. Most everybody bailed out on this podcast 5 minutes ago when the veins started erupting. I'm not like mad at the guy. I wish him all the success in the world. But do you have to be on every channel at the same time? Even from a programming standpoint, if you have Anthony Bourdain fans and you want them to watch the shows, why would you all schedule the shows on the different channels at the same time? You're splitting your audience up 3 ways. You got 1/3 of the Anthony Bourdain lovers who want to see him in France. You got the other third of the Anthony Bourdain lovers want to see him in California eating French fries with snobs. And you got the other third of Anthony Bourdain lovers that want to see him over in the wherever he's at, the United Kingdom, eating fish and chips with people with buck teeth. You've split it 3 ways. If you would have scheduled him meeting in the south of France with snails with stuck-up people at 9 o'clock, you'd have had all the Anthony Bourdain fans watching that show. Then at 10 o'clock, when he went to California and is eating French fries with stuck-up people with blonde hair and dark tans, all of the Anthony Bourdain lovers would have went over and watched that show at 10. Then at 11 o'clock on this other channel, if you would have scheduled the one where he was in England eating fish and chips with buck-toothed British people talking about top of the morning, chap. How the bloody hell are you? A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. The medicine go down. Well, I don't think the English people do that anymore, but I don't know that many English people. So I can only refer to chim chimry, chim chimney, chim chim chiroo. I like what I do and I do what I do. That's my extent of English, people. We had a foreign exchange student or something in school when I was a junior or senior or something. Very sweet girl. I think it was, what was her name? God, I have the worst memory, but she was from England or something. I don't remember her singing chim chimnery chiroo.
This is the Brett Mason Show. Hey, hey, hey!
Hey, let me tell you about my friend Courtney over at Toyota Dothan Rental Cars. Courtney is so awesome. Everybody who's over there awesome. Alan is awesome. They're all just phenomenal. And you can rent the Camrys, you can rent the Avalons, trucks, SUVs. And the thing about it is it's easy to rent. The cost of rental is really low, really super low and competitive. And they don't have all these issues with some fees and other charges that other car rental places have. So they'll save you some money. You know you're going to be getting a solid ride when you're driving a Toyota. And plus you'll be dealing with Courtney, who's just awesome. You can shoot her a straight email and say, hey, Brett Mason said you rented cars. I need details, or can I call you? Or her email address is Courtney@toyotadothan.com. Or you can just look them up online, toyotadothan.com, and go to the rental car section. I promise you, and this is a guy speaking from a personal experience, I rent cars from them every 2 weeks. They're just awesome. So talk to Courtney and the folks over there at Toyota of Dothan Rental Cars. Have you seen this new Volkswagen Passat commercial? Am I getting old? Am I getting old and cranky? Is why things drive me crazy, or did you guys just pay more attention and think things differently than everybody else? It starts out with "Mamas don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys." That might be ringing some bells for you now. So you see these kids walking into this convenience store. Mamas don't let your babes grow up. The next thing you know, these kids are shaking up 2-liter bottles of drinks and spewing them everywhere. They're eating cheese directly out of the nacho cheese dispenser. They're drinking slushies. They're fighting. Stuff is flying everywhere. And it's just complete mayhem in this convenience store, right? And all the while, mamas don't let you babies grow up to be cowboys playing in the background. The guy working there, the cashier at the convenience store, has this look on his face like, oh my God, I'm in the 7th level of hell right now. Where's these kids' mom at? And about that time, it pans to the outside, and you see that the mom is out there pumping gas for the car, and they're on a road trip. It dawns on her that her boys are not around anymore, and she's like, boys? Boys?
Boys?
And as she's looking around confused, wondering where her little hellions are at, you see a car pass by on the street. And then the camera takes you inside that car where the sweetest, most innocent kids, these would be the counterparts to the kids destroying the convenience store. There's 3 of each. Each one has its own counterpart. The kids in this car, they're reading books. They've got their hands crossed. They're sitting there, just perfect little angels, and their mom is smiling, and his mamas don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys is still playing. And then the announcer comes on and says,
"Stop less, go more." The Passat TDI clean diesel with up to 814 highway miles per tank. Just one reason Volkswagen is the #1 selling diesel car brand in America.
You got to drive the Volkswagen Passat TDI diesel, whatever, because it gets better gas mileage. You don't have to stop at the convenience store as often. I got to throw a flag on that. The problem with these kids in the convenience store has nothing to do with what car that mom was driving. She's just a bad mom. She should be beating them boys' ass. That's what she should do more of. That's my opinion. I guarantee you, if little Billy Bob, who exploded the 2-liter drink right there in front of God and everybody, if she would have got a switch like my grandma used to do, made him go out and search and find his own switch, and bring it back in there and switched his legs really good, and then on top of that, made him get a mop and a bucket and rags and clean that crap up out of the floor. And then if she would have threw him in the back seat of that car, and she would have took away his PlayStation, and she'd have took away his eye this and his eye that and his iPad and whatever else he's got for 2 weeks, and if that was done enough, that boy would calm it right down. How do I know? Because I lived it. No, I'm not advocating child abuse. I'm not advocating that. I'm just advocating a level of discipline to where the only way you control your kids from destroying a convenience store is not just because your car gets better gas mileage, so you have to stop at less convenience stores. Because you ain't solved the problem of the unruly kids. They still unruly. They just have less opportunities to be unruly. Because you don't have to stop as awesome. Am I the only one that stuff like this drives me crazy? Am I the only one? That commercial, and I don't know why, but it's popular on Hulu right now. So, I don't know if you guys watch Hulu, but I have Hulu Plus, and because I watch the TV shows that I like, but I watch them the next day or something on Hulu. So I don't have live cable. I don't watch anything live. Well, I have a couple of things that I watch live, but not many. But what happened on Hulu is, once they lock you into a commercial, you be watching a show or a couple episodes of a show, they will play the same commercial, and it's only one commercial. That's the good thing about Hulu. You ain't sitting through 5 minutes commercials. It's one. But you're going to see it every time commercials play. So the other night, this is when I'd seen this commercial several times, but it really started driving me nuts the other night because I was watching something. I don't know what I was watching. I think I was finishing up watching the Last Man on Earth or something, the last 2 or 3 episodes of that. Every commercial break, it's these kids destroying this convenience store. I must saw that commercial 20 times till I nearly lost it. I felt arteries and veins popping inside of my brain. I swear to you, I probably passed out from the intracranial pressure. I'm pretty sure that I did at some point. And so that's what we talk about on the podcast. Stuff that makes me have aneurysms. If you haven't seen the commercial, it's linked in the post that this podcast is on. If you're on the very first page, you might want to wait till the podcast is over, scroll down, click next page, and all the links are on the next page. All right. I'm winding up the podcast with this. New Hardees commercial. It's Carl Jr.'s on the West Coast. I have a friend who lives out on the West Coast. And I'm like, is Carl Jr.'s really the same as Hardees? Because she used to live out here. She's like, oh, it's the same thing. It's just a different name. Why? I don't know. Why isn't it just Hardees everywhere? I don't understand. Anyway, that's a different story for a different time. 10 years ago or something like that, Hardees decided that they were going to completely scrap their fast food model. And they were going to go after young men, young to young middle-aged men who love to eat and weren't ashamed of it. And their ads went in that direction. Their food went in that direction. And they don't apologize for it. And so these commercials with these really hot women eating these cheeseburgers and stuff, all that Kate Upton one just is... Well, there's a phrase out there called food porn, and it really has nothing to do with porn. But you'll see a lot of food porn websites, food porn Facebook pages. And what it is, it's just mouth-watering pictures of food that you can just stare and drool at, hence the name food porn. But if you were to more appropriately use that phrase, I think it might apply to these Hardee's commercials with these women eating these cheeseburgers. Oh, my God. There's a new one coming out. There's a couple reasons it's coming out. There's a new one coming out, and then there was an interview with the CEO of Hardee's talking about how not just any woman could eat their burgers, which I found interesting. The new girl is Samantha Hoops. Oh, God, she's just unbelievable. She was in the 50th anniversary swimsuit edition that came out last year. Oh, God, she's just gorgeous. And she's eating this big old honking cheeseburger thing. The funny thing is the Hardee's CEO, there was an interview with him that I saw on Yahoo Finance. And I thought it was kind of interesting. His name is Andy Pudster, I think is his name. Maybe I'm getting that wrong. But they were interviewing about these commercials and, because this has kind of turned into a launching career, like some of these models in these Hardee's commercials, they've done them, and then it's went on to actually launch their career. Now, some of them were already famous before. But these hot women are wanting to get these commercials, apparently. And this is a quote from the CEO. He says, we get a lot of actresses whose names I won't tell you who contact us, and we don't end up using them in the ad because they're not right for the brand. So the interviewer goes, well, what are the examples without saying names? Why are they not right? Is it not the right age? And he goes, well, it could be age. But he said, we've had Heidi Klum do it, and she's not really young. She's an older woman, so it's not really that. He said it's what products we're promoting, and you need to be able to actually eat the burger and eat it like you're loving it. We don't want somebody that's going to be out there and say, well, I don't really eat burgers. So you really have to go at it, he says. You really have to attack the burger. So the interviewer's like, well, has that been a problem? Apparently it has. He relates a story. We used Kim Kardashian in an ad, but Kim really couldn't eat the burger. Luckily, we had a salad we promoted at the same time, so we used Kim in the salad ad. But if we had not been doing that salad, she would not have been in any ad with us because she sucked at eating burgers. She's too tiny, she's real little, and she couldn't eat a burger. I wonder, I'd really love to see outtakes of this. Well, look, I'm going to be honest. I'd just love to see more footage of these women eating burgers, period. I'm just going to be honest with you. Does that make me a male pig? Whatever. If you women, if you had this, what's that guy everybody's crazy about? Channing, Tatum, Channing. That guy? You would watch a commercial of him eating burgers and ketchup dripping all down his biceps and pecs. Come on. Don't be going that way. But I'd like to see behind the scenes of some of these women trying to eat the burgers that sucked at it. They just have to shut them down. I'm sorry. You suck at eating burgers. We're going to have to let you go. Look, I was never a hot woman, but I could eat a burger back in the day. If eating burgers could pay the bills, man, I would have been the king burger eater. It's just, it sucks that I had to be an ugly, big, ugly, gross dude. Because if I could have been a hot chick, man, I'd be a multi-bazillionaire just off doing these commercials. They'd have to pay me for commercials, and they'd lose money on the burgers. I wonder, though, because I've seen in movies and TV shows where they're doing, that's why they don't do a lot of scenes where you eat, because they do so many takes, and people don't realize this, but every scene in every movie or every TV show, every scene, not every scene, but most every scene is shot 5, 10, 15, 20 times. They don't just shoot it one time and they're done with it. So if it's an eating scene, you're eating 10, 15, 20 times. And so, they figure out ways of spitting the food out, trying to not eat as much. I wonder if that goes on in these Hardees commercials. I wonder how many burgers them chicks go through in a Hardees commercial. Dang it, I think this needs investigating. I, Brett Mason, am willing to set aside the time and make the great personal sacrifice to travel to one of these commercials to watch it and oversee it. It's the kind of guy I am. So anyway, that's out this week. Guys, my guys watch, if you haven't seen it, her name is Samantha Hoops. Oh, she's so pretty. I have a link to the article on the page where this podcast is. If you go to the bottom of the page and you hit next page, because it's not going to show up on the front page, you have to go to the second page. I have a link to that, and we'll have a link to everything that we talk about. I don't have anything else to say. I've just exhausted everything that I could possibly say about any of this. Thank you for listening to the podcast. If you can answer any of my questions or you have any input, please comment it on the Facebook post. Please like the post, and please share the page, share the podcast, share the Facebook post. And I love you. I appreciate you. More than you know. I really do.
This is the Brett Mason Show. Hey!